ASEAN stands as one of the most successful economic political alliances worldwide. Imagine for a moment a scenario in which the ASEAN member states Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, the Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam unite as a single country. What would be the consequences of such a union? Could this lead to increased prosperity and unity? Or would it result in turmoil and conflict? In this thought experiment, we delve into the economic and political implications of a unified ASEAN nation, considering both the potential benefits and challenges that could arise from such a merger. In the beginning, the Southeast Asian region was a collection of diverse cultures, economies, and political systems, each with its own distinctive story. Led by unforeseen events during the Cold War, the big economic nations had joined forces in 1967, forming ASEAN to promote economic growth, social progress, and cultural development. With a combined GDP of approximately $3 trillion in 2021, ASEAN was already an economic force to be reckoned with. But if this economic union has already emerged to become a trillion-dollar economy, what more would it be if they evolved into a single nation-state? In a world where the 10 ASEAN member states unite as one, the potential for economic growth would be nothing short of astonishing. As mentioned earlier, this new nation would become the fifth largest economy globally, with a combined GDP of approximately $3 trillion in 2021. Furthermore, with a population of over 675 million people, it would be the third most populous country in the world. But the economic prowess of this unified ASEAN doesn't end there. Its young and dynamic workforce would be an invaluable asset, driving innovation and productivity in various sectors, including manufacturing, agriculture, and technology. The combination of a skilled labor force and a burgeoning middle class would create a thriving consumer market, attracting multinational corporations and foreign investors seeking to capitalize on the growth potential. The vast natural resources within the region would also contribute to the economic success of this ASEAN nation. From oil and natural gas reserves in Malaysia and Brunei to the fertile agricultural lands of Thailand and Vietnam, the region would be well positioned to become self-sufficient in food and energy production. Furthermore, the strategic location of the ASEAN countries along major trade routes would facilitate trade and investment, boosting the nation's economic growth. However, as most nations have shown, their story would also be intertwined with challenges. The economic journey of a unified ASEAN would see challenges pertaining to income inequality, which ought to be a significant concern as the wealth disparity between nations like Singapore and Laos or Cambodia is substantial. To address this issue, the new ASEAN nation would need to implement policies and initiatives aimed at reducing poverty and promoting inclusive growth, such as targeted social safety nets, investment in human capital, and infrastructure development. Speaking of infrastructure, a unified ASEAN would face a considerable gap in this area, with many countries lacking adequate transportation, energy, and digital connectivity. To overcome this challenge, the nation would need to invest heavily in infrastructure projects, including high-speed rail networks, highways, and ports, as well as renewable energy and broadband internet access. This investment would not only create jobs and stimulate economic growth, help bridge the development gap between urban and rural areas. As we turn over, we will then move towards the political landscape of ASEAN as a unified nation. With a diverse array of political systems and ideologies coexisting within the region, weaving these threads together into a cohesive tapestry would be a Herculean task. From the one-party rule in Vietnam and Laos to the vibrant democracies of Malaysia and Singapore, the political spectrum within ASEAN is vast and complex. In our hypothetical tale, a unified ASEAN nation would need to adopt a federal structure similar to that of the European Union or the United States. This would allow individual member states to retain a degree of autonomy while cooperating on key issues such as defense, foreign policy, and trade. Establishing a central government that respects the unique political traditions of each member state while fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose would be crucial to the success of this new nation. However, navigating the turbulent waters of political cooperation and compromise compromise would be fraught with challenges. Corruption, bureaucracy, and divergent political priorities could all threaten to undermine the unity and stability of the new ASEAN nation. To counteract these threats, the country would need to prioritize good governance, transparency, and the rule of law, ensuring that all citizens have a voice in the decision-making process. Additionally, the ASEAN nation would need to grapple with regional security issues, such as territorial disputes in the South China Sea and the ongoing crisis in Myanmar. In this new political landscape, ASEAN would have to balance its commitment to non-interference with the need to maintain peace and stability within its borders. This delicate balancing act would require skillful diplomacy and a commitment to conflict resolution through dialogue and cooperation. The political landscape of a unified ASEAN would also need to address the issue of human rights. With a patchwork of different legal systems and human rights records among the member states, the new nation would need to find common ground and promote a culture of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. This could include the establishment of a regional human rights court of commission, as well as the adoption of a unified ASEAN Charter of Human Rights. In navigating these political challenges, our hypothetical ASEAN nation would need to draw upon the strengths and experiences of its diverse member states. By learning from one another and working together, the unified country could develop innovative solutions to the region's most pressing issues, fostering a sense of unity and shared purpose that transcends political boundaries. As the political landscape of a unified ASEAN unfolds, the region would have the opportunity to forge a new path, one that is built on the principles of cooperation, mutual respect, and shared prosperity. In doing so, our imaginary nation could become a model for regional integration and cooperation, inspiring other regions around the world to follow in its footsteps. Just like any massive country, a unified ASEAN nation would wield considerable influence on the world stage. With its economic might and strategic location, ASEAN could become a pivotal player in shaping the future of the Indo-Pacific region. In a world where the balance of power is constantly shifting, ASEAN's rise as a single nation could have far-reaching implications for global politics and economics. In this captivating narrative, ASEAN would need to navigate the murky waters of international diplomacy, juggling its relationships with major powers such as China, the United States, and India. Would ASEAN maintain its neutral stance and ASEAN way of consensus-based decision-making? Or would it adopt a more assertive role in the international community? Only time will tell as our story unfolds. In our tale of a unified ASEAN, we cannot overlook the rich tapestry of cultures that make up this diverse region. With over 1,000 distinct languages spoken and a myriad of religions practiced, the cultural landscape of ASEAN is as varied as the colors of a rainbow. As with any good story, these diverse characters would need to find a way to coexist harmoniously. Creating a national identity for a unified ASEAN would be a monumental task, requiring mutual respect and understanding among its diverse communities. While challenges would undoubtedly arise, the potential for a vibrant, multicultural society is an exciting prospect. It is said that variety is the spice of life, and in our hypothetical ASEAN nation, the cultural pot would be bubbling with flavor. In this thought experiment, we have explored the possibilities and challenges of a unified ASEAN nation, painting a picture of a future where diverse cultures, economies, and political systems come together under a single flag. The potential economic growth, the creation of a unique political landscape, and the rise of a cultural melting pot are all exciting prospects for this hypothetical union. However, to bring this vision to life, the ASEAN nation would need to confront and overcome various hurdles, including economic inequality, infrastructural gaps, political fragmentation, and human rights concerns. By embracing the spirit of cooperation, dialogue, and shared learning, the region could potentially unlock new opportunities for development and unity. While the story of a unified ASEAN may be fictional, the lessons learned from this imaginative journey can inspire us to think critically about regional integration and cooperation in the real world. As the ASEAN countries continue to collaborate and support one another, they have the opportunity to strengthen their bonds, promote shared prosperity, and forge a brighter future for the Southeast Asian region and beyond.